Hey guys, your man NBA fan crazy here. So now I'm actually gonna be delving more bit into the NBA storylines this season. I'm pretty sure there are more exciting storylines this season, which is the Houston Rockets small ball, the Dallas Mavericks emergence, Luka Doncic's impressive sophomore campaign, Trae Young averaging 29 points and being an all-star starter, the Lakers going big and the first seed, Bucks regular season dominance, and many other teams rise to eventual tough outs. So now today we are gonna be going into one of the particular storylines everyone just ignores or underrates, or in the American media's words, just ignore. And what I'm talking about as a underrated American media, all of you know what I'm talking about. The Toronto Raptors. You know, Toronto is actually one of those teams which constantly get very high disrespect from the American media due to the fact that they lost the Finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard. Many people had them around the 4-5 seed, and some people even had them missing the playoffs because many of them assumed that the Raptors were gonna trade the veteran players deep into the season, gonna rebuild around Siakam, but no, that didn't happen. The Toronto Raptors are just flat out ballin'. And when I say ballin', you know what I mean. They are a real threat in the Eastern Conference. But somehow the American media just seems to overlook them for the simple fact that they are a Canadian team and they won't generate a lot of views. Man, so frustrating being a Toronto Raptors fan for anyone. Learning your team is 46 and 18, second in the Eastern Conference, having so many good games in spite of so many important players being injured. So many important players being injured, and we might have thought that they may they may face the consequences of not having so many important players being injured. You know, the Toronto Raptors say nah, we cool. They are 46 and 18, second in the Eastern Conference, and the last game they played, yeah, many people remember it for the Rudy Gobert OG Anunoby scuffle, got them both ejected. What happened in that game? Like, I saw the game and I got so impressed by the Raptors. Man, like, how do you guys pull it out every single time? How do you go into the second night of a back to back into the Vivint Smart Home Arena in a West Coast road trip without Van Vliet, Norman Powell, and Mark Gasol, who came back against the previous game in the first night of a back-to-back in Sacramento. He rested against Utah, so he had to play Serge Ibaka as a center. He did a tremendous job on Rudy Gobert. He contained him to just 6 points. Well, all of you think Rudy Gobert. You think about the guy who technically caused Donovan Mitchell the coronavirus. He literally just touched a lot of microphones. He took it all carelessly. Yeah. But what we all think about the Toronto Raptors is that they'll miss Kawhi. Who do they have on that team? This is what the American media thinks. I think otherwise. You know why? Because I'm going to talk to you about a bunch of players who have contributed so much, even in spite of the best players being beaten down. Beaten down, period. You know how many games they have? The full lineup. Yep. 5 games. 5. And that net rating is 4th in the whole NBA, period. 6.4 net rating, below the dubbed 3 championship favorites. They're third in the league. Third in the league. With so many injuries, yet no one seems to talk about them. They have 219 games of injuries riddled. Well, the 7 most important players on the team, which is specifically no no harm again, no disrespect to Rondae Hollis Jefferson, Chris Boucher, and Patrick McCaw. Though all Raptors fans kinda hate why he gets a lot of minutes instead of them. And no disrespect to Terence Davis the second, he's a very important guy. This not having Terence Davis the second in the Raptors 7 best players is a testament to how deep the Raptors truly are. Now let's start. The 7 most important players in the team. Kyle Lowry, the point guard, playing with another point guard, Fred VanVleet, after sharpshooter Danny Green left for the Lakers 2 years, 30 million. OG Anunoby, after Kawhi Leonard left, Anunoby came into the starting lineup. He's been doing tremendous things. I believe he should actually get on to either the first or the second All NBA second or first team defensively. He's the Raptors' best defender, and that is no offense because he's been doing a lot of stuff on the defensive end. Though the Raptors just sit 11th on the offensive rating, that defense, man, is a killer. They are sitting second in defensive rating with a rating of 106. That's tremendous for a team whose key players have all missed time. Kyle Lowry, he played 64 games. The total games the Raptors played are 64. He played 52. Most of the games he didn't play came from the games that he got injured in the Pelicans game. He returned in the game against the Miami Heat in the 2nd of December, 3rd of December. I don't exactly remember the date. OG Anunoby, he's missed only one game. Wow, I think that was a game against Chicago in the starting of the season. Siakam missed some games. That was when he got injured against the Detroit Pistons on December 18th. VanVleet was pretty injured because he missed a few games before he returned after Siakam, Gasol, and Powell got injured in the Detroit game. He returned on December 20th. Then he missed a few games off because in the Milwaukee Bucks, after the Bucks game, he didn't play for the 5-game West Coast road trip and the Charlotte Hornets game in which the Raptors got bet 99-96. Yep. Marc Gasol, man, this guy has not played a lot. What can you just say? He is a very integral component of the team. He's missed a lot of games, man. First thing, he got injured against Detroit. He came back in the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder on January 15th. Then he got injured in the game against the Atlanta Hawks on I believe January 28th. Norman Powell, he's become very consistent this year for the Raptors. We all know he scored 37 against the Golden State Warriors in Curry's return to the lineup. He's been doing things more for the Raptors this year. He just comes back from injury, just keeps producing. He was an integral component as to why the Raptors did so well on the West Coast road trip. The way they relied on Powell was to produce, and he did, of course. In the Suns game, the Warriors game, in which he scored like 37, in the Sacramento Kings game in Sacramento, where he and Kyle Lowry went for 61 points combined, shows how deep this team truly is and how every single player steps up to the occasion when needed. Well, Serge Ibaka has been according to me, he's one of the best backup big men you can have as a big man coming off the bench. They have quite relied on him since he missed a lot of games. He was injured in the Pelicans game, same as Lowry. He came back against the Utah Jazz. He got injured again. I wasn't sure which specific point of time. He got injured one game during I believe like February in the Timberwolves game, D'Angelo Russell's debut against the Toronto Raptors. He got injured. He came back. Then he missed like 3 games. 3 games. Yeah, he played the Bucks game. He didn't play for the. He didn't play the Hornets game. He didn't play the Nuggets, and he didn't play against the Suns. And the only guy who hasn't missed a lot, who hasn't missed a single game this season, has been Terence Davis the second. Terence Davis, no, I didn't really know who Terence Davis was before this season. I'm not dissing Raptors. I'm not dissing the Toronto Raptors at all. After I watched him and his game, like all the Raptors have a merciless depth of defenders. Like they have guys who can defend no matter what. And that's a testament as to how the defensive rating has been so high, than how they've been dealing with injuries for a long time. And when this team is like they had some very good games in the season when their best players have been injured. First game I'm gonna go to is the Lakers. They defeated the Lakers 113-104 in a game where Laker fans kind of wanna forget, because the Raptors are playing without Lowry and Ibaka, yet the media just kept dissing them a lot because they didn't have Kawhi Leonard. They have played some very good games. The last game which I saw them play very good was against the Utah Jazz, man. That game really gave me. I'm not a fan of the Toronto Raptors, but man, am I impressed by them and the way they deal with injuries. Like, and my third favorite game of the Raptors season was against the Boston Celtics after Christmas in your home. They lost 102-118. They came back in the Garden without Gasol, Siakam, and Powell, and they still managed to beat the Celtics. 113-97. Man, was that a good win for the Raptors. And the Raptors have been pretty good on the road too. They went 3-2 in the West Coast road trip in November. They won games against the Pelicans, Lakers, and the Blazers while losing to the Clippers and Mavericks. But the recent West Coast road trip, they went 4-1. The only loss in the road trip was against the Denver Nuggets, which Anunoby had to score 32 points. Siakam didn't play a very good game. In the Suns game, they won 123-114. Norman Powell had 26 points in that game. In the Golden State Warriors game, Ibaka came back and they got a true center finally back, because they had been playing Anunoby at power forward and Siakam at center. In the Sacramento Kings game, they won 118-113. Norman Powell had been clutch in that game. So as with Kyle Lowry. He had hit in Utah on the second night of a back-to-back. Man, that was my second favorite game to watch, because the Raptors have been holding many star players to individual lows. They held Joel Embiid to 0 points. Though they were expected to hold Embiid low, no one expected them to score 0. Though not all the credit is the Raptors, and part of it's due to Embiid's mindset, but the majority of the credit goes to the Raptors. And they held Damian Lillard to 9 points, LeBron James to 13, LeBron James to, I believe, 12 points, Kawhi Leonard to 13 points, and they held Rudy Gobert to 6 points. Man, 6 points, big thing. Yup. So I'd like to end it off right there. So I believe the Raptors are a legitimate postseason threat when healthy. I have them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I have them beating the Celtics, because the Raptors' championship experience and pedigree are too good to ignore, and they have been playing with with the target on the back and a chip on the shoulder all season long, and have many good players producing for them. Rondy Hollis Jefferson has been defending good all season. He's been hustling back for rebounds. And Chris Boucher has been a good big win. Gasol was not there. He gave consistent minutes. So that's to cap it off in how the Toronto Raptors have been dealing with the injuries, how good they are, even in spite of everyone doubting them. I have the Raptors as a very legitimate threat, and that's the second team which I'm scared of coming into the postseason, man. And I'm not speaking as a Raptors fan because I'm not, but I'm just impressed by how well they managed to play even without injuries, no matter how much the odds are against them. Hey guys, thanks. Next video is coming up in a bit, and I'll come up with something interesting. See you all.